Nothing is more haunting than a once magnificent building that has been abandoned. While some abandoned buildings are well taken care of, some are completely run down with their original appearance completely lost. Sometimes, abandoned buildings are even reclaimed by nature. There is something both eerie and striking about abandoned places. Whether it's a train cemetery in Bolivia, an Art Deco subway station underneath New York City, or a village overtaken by sand dunes on the coast of Namibia, each location is a snapshot of history frozen in time. Take a tour of these mesmerizing sites around the world, stark reminders of what used to be, with beauty seeping through the broken glass and dust. Here, 10 abandoned places around the world that will have you both awed and creeped out at the same time. 1. Miranda Castle, Belgium. During the French Revolution, Count Liedkerk Beaufort, a Belgian political activist, was forced to flee his home and relocate with his family to a neighboring country. Edward Milner, an English architect, was commissioned to build a summer home in 1866. Milner died before the castle was finished. Following that, the castle served as a Nazi concentration camp during World War II, a holiday camp for the National Railway Company of Belgium, and an orphanage. Finally, due to the high maintenance costs, the castle was abandoned in 1991. 2. Power Plant IM, Belgium. Built in 1921, the power plant IM in Charleroi was once one of the largest coal-burning power plants in Belgium, with a massive cooling tower capable of cooling 480,000 gallons of water per minute. However, with great power comes great pollution, and this particular plant was responsible for 10% of the country's total carbon dioxide emissions. Greenpeace filed a protest, and the site was closed down in 2007. While the abandoned towers no longer provide electricity, they do provide plenty of hauntingly beautiful vistas. 3. Winchester Mystery House, California, USA. This eccentric and extravagant California Victorian mansion is a maze of dead ends, secret doorways, and stairs that lead nowhere. Driven by paranoia and superstition, Sarah Winchester, widow of gun magnate William Wirt Winchester, began construction in 1884 and ordered that it never stop. The house grew into a maze of architectural oddities 7 stories high in the 38 years before her death. Despite being damaged in the 1906 earthquake, the house is open to the public, and visitors can explore the 160 surviving rooms. 4. Belitz Military Hospital, Germany. Belitz Military Hospital is a large hospital complex in the German town of Belitz-Heilstatten. The hospital complex was originally intended to be a sanatorium when it was built in 1898. At the start of World War I, it was converted into a military hospital for the Imperial German Army. After being wounded in the Battle of the Somme, Adolf Hitler sought treatment at the Belitz Military Hospital between October and November 1916. The hospital was taken over by Red Army forces in 1945 and served as a Soviet military hospital until 1990. After years of privatization attempts, the property was officially abandoned in 2000. 5. Dundas Castle, New York. Bradford L. Gilbert designed the elegant New York castle for his Scottish wife, Anna Dundas. Gilbert died before the structure was finished, and Dundas committed herself to a sanatorium. So, even though no one ever lived there, there are legends about the ghost of Dundas roaming the halls of the abandoned castle. 6. Eastern State Penitentiary, Philadelphia, USA. From 1829 to 1939, this Philadelphia facility boasted grand architecture, modern luxuries, and notorious inmates such as Al Capone. It was one of the first penitentiaries ever built, combining impressive design and strict discipline to inspire regret and reform in convicts. The complex has deteriorated into a mass of deteriorating cell blocks since its closure in 1971, and it is now designated as a National Historic Landmark. Eastern State Penitentiary welcomes visitors all year. 7. Krakow, Italy. The small hill town in Basilicata came into existence in 540 AD, but the town's location ultimately became the reason for its downfall. Due to the poor agriculture, the landslide of 1963, the flood of 1972, and the continued instability of the slope on which the town was located, Krakow was eventually abandoned totally by early 1990s. However, it was seen again in the popular movie The Passion of the Christ. 8. Fordlandia, Brazil. Back in the 1920s, Henry Ford had grand plans to establish a rubber plantation in the middle of the Amazon rainforest. The American industrialists secured a massive plot of land from the Brazilian government and built a rather impressive microcity, complete with a power plant, hospital, golf course, thousands of houses, and more, that he named Fordlandia. Unfortunately, a combination of malaria, unproductive plants, and rioting workers led to Fordlandia's downfall, and the strange riverside establishment was sold back to Brazil in 1945. Many of the original buildings still stand, and some Amazon tours will take travelers to explore the ruins. 9. Buffalo Central Terminal, United States. Buffalo Central Terminal was a railroad station in Buffalo, New York that operated from 1929 to 1979. The station is a 17-story Art Deco structure designed for the New York Railroad. Throughout its history, the station has always been large, and at its peak, it served 200 trains per day. However, after World War II, traffic at Buffalo Central Terminal began to decline. The station's passenger revenue declined dramatically, and parts of it were demolished in 1966. The increased use of automobiles contributed to the station's low revenues. The last train from the station left at 4 p.m. in 1979. Central Terminal Restoration Corporation now owns Buffalo Central Terminal and is determined to restore it. 10. Tianduching, China. No, this isn't a picture of post-apocalyptic Paris. It's China's Tianduching district, a miniature replica of France's capital located about 40 minutes away from Hangzhou. The ambitious real estate development was built in 2007, complete with its own Champs-Élysées and 300-foot Eiffel Tower. Unfortunately, China's attempt to recreate the City of Light ended up being more creepy than romantic, as if the real Paris suddenly entered the Upside Down. Only a couple thousand residents remain, and the streets are typically empty, save for the occasional bridal party posing for faux Parisian wedding photos.